Welcome to Awaken Terrain, the podcast where we explore the sacred connection between humanity and Earth and the spaces we create. I am your host, architect Alexandra Bogasat, dedicated to harmonizing the spirit of the land with the dreams we build upon it. Today, during this second week of Advent, we celebrate the light of plants. So we're diving into the wisdom of plants, and as Rudolf Steiner called them, the profound teachers of life and spirit. Together, we'll uncover how plants can guide us in the process of becoming, not only as individuals, but also in shaping the built environment and spaces that nourish our soul's growth. So stay with me as we explore the gifts of giving, the pureness of the plant life, and how even the materials we use in our buildings and our built structures carry the energy of their origins. We'll end with a guided journey, and this will help you envision your true home you're meant to grow. So, yeah, plants really embody obviously growth, your life, and this process of becoming. Although at this time of year, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you can also see the process of unbecoming or death. And then in the spring of rebirth. So it really does show us this process of becoming that is not just like a linear process, but a cyclical process that we can enter into to understand the rhythms of life, the rhythms of earth and sun. And these really do inform the process of our becoming, the cycles of evolution, of earth and sky, of the cosmic clock that we are journeying through. There's cycles within cycles within cycles. And the plants show us very distinctly, depending on where you live, but generally, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're going to see this yearly cycle of becoming. From a tiny seed to a towering tree, their entire life cycle is a testament to becoming due to unseen forces. And I'm not just referring to like, well, light is unseen, right? I mean, we can see the sun, we understand light, but like, can we really see it? But also, just all of the beings. And Rudolf Steiner calls them etheric forces that guide and orchestrate and sustain life here on Earth, including our own. These are the unseen architects of nature, orchestrating growth and form and renewal, as we see in the spring. So, just as seeds potential unfolds into a tree, we can bring this concept when we really like embodying these teachings. We can bring this concept and learn from it and bring it into the idea of how to unfold a home or a built structure that is in harmony with these cycles and these unseen forces. We can think of our home not just as a physical structure, but the deeper essence of what home even means to you. And the process of becoming isn't instant. It's a slow, thoughtful growth that mirrors nature. And we really bring this into the process of, we need to bring this idea into the process of design that there's kind of an evolution and a process of becoming. And there's certain steps we can start with, and mainly intention and getting very clear on our values and intention. And we can really learn from plants about a certain few and deeply inspiring intentions and spiritual lessons. The plant, of course, is nourishing and so giving to us. And at this time of year, there's no better time to really deepen into this uh, lesson of giving at Christmas time when we give gifts and we meet with family, and we can also do this in return to the plants and foster that deeper understanding of their giving nature just by connecting with them in our surroundings and in our home, the ones used to make up our home. So, of course, we understand this giving nature in terms of they provide us oxygen, food, shade, beauty, all without expectation, right? They just do this as pure giving, as selfless giving. And we can look to this as a lesson, as a model for how we too can become selflessly in service to humanity and Earth. And when we can bring this and emulate this giving nature by creating environments that not only nurture ourselves, but the whole planet. So it's like, again, like this idea of becoming and growing your home, growing the built structures, adapted to suit the land, offering shade, and of course, shelter. So plants provide us with with the materials to build shelter. Most homes are made from, we talked last week, obviously the minerals in our homes, the rocks, the stone used to create foundations and countertops. But of course, plants, without plants, how would we build shelter? We can look back far in time for how long we've been using wood and plant materials to build with. Straw, turf, the actual land, like grass, turf, roofs, um, and obviously just the lumber and wood. We can look at teepees, we can look at ancient ancient forms of building, and generally, aside from it being first in caves, which relates to the minerals, we began to use the plants. So they so selflessly giving to us not just shade in the summertime, but shelter all year long. And a lot of insulation is made from plant material as well. So it's used throughout all our buildings. It's used for finishes to bring in that selfless beauty of nature into our homes so that we can be surrounded by this beauty at all times. The grain of wood, or even having plants growing in our home. Living walls are now a really big thing in biophilic design. Biophilia, it's a aspect of architectural design where it's really looking at it and studying how the beauty of nature is so important for our health, our mental health, our physical health, spiritual health as well. So this is, broadly speaking, being brought into the architectural process, and you may have experienced living walls and kind of like how beautiful they can be. You can make them huge, tall, within a structure, within the densest neighborhoods, the densest building, the tallest, most industrial looking buildings can have these beautiful natural elements incorporated into them, where the plants can selflessly give away their beauty, their nature all year long. And there's something even more purer to a plant when we start looking at it in terms of its, I guess I would say its structure. And it's a great exercise to go through of looking at the human form in comparison to the plant. And Rudolf Steiner talks about this, how humans, we stand upright with our heads towards the heaven and our reproductive organs towards the ground, towards the earth. But a plant is actually the reverse. We have the reproductive organs, the flowers, the seeds, up to the sky. So the reproductive energy is towards the heaven with this gesture of chasteness and purity under the all, like just exposed out there, under all the sunlight, under all the light of the sky. So that's that kind of purity, chasteness of the plant that we can look to, as well as this giving nature that we can work towards. And this is also reflected in, we see those images of like, oh, we have the leaves of the trees, the trunk and the roots. And I don't know if you've seen this kind of image before, but it's like a reflection of the nervous system and the brain. And I mean, yeah, that's so true. But again, it's like flipped upside down. I think that's one point, like if maybe most people miss that it's actually the roots or the plant's brains down in the ground and it's the reproductive organs up to the sky. And this creates the upright of the cross. And I'll go in next week about how you get the horizontal aspect of the cross, the symbol of the cross. Rudolf Steiner talks about this as well, though. And so we have the two heads pointed towards each other and the reproductive organs connected. And we can really understand this idea of reproduction in the plants by not just looking at their flowers and their seeds, but eating them, consuming them. And we consume their chasteness. This is part of their life-giving force to us. And then we have within the plants, Rudolf Steiner also talks about this as a great visualization of their purity, is how their sap that moves through the plant is of a green nature, of a green color, where in humans we have the red blood of passion and desire. And again, so we can look at ourselves as like, oh, well, we are a superior form. We can move around. We have agency. We have free will. But we also have lower desires and lower impulses. We have the red blood of desire. Plants are, again, these chaste, this image of chastity and purity that we can strive towards. And when we design our homes and we want to, just have these homes that are just like infuse you with this sense of purity and wholeness, free of clutter and distractions that are uplifting and aligned to these higher aspirations, we can really look to the plants as a way to understand this and bring that picture into the design equation. Give plants a seat at the design table. And of course, this time of year, as we want to, as we're stepping towards Christmas and waiting for the return of the sun, seems like a strange time of year to really be contemplating plants. It's not green out here where I am. It's snowy, white snow, obviously a beautiful sunny day, very, very cold. And yet we have this call, this invitation to bring a Christmas tree into our home. And the evergreen is such a symbol of, this pure, giving nature, resilience, and and beauty all time of year. And they stand beside the naked, seemingly dead trees in the winter as a symbol of this kind of ever lasting living force that surrounds us all the time. So even in the darkest days of winter, as we're approaching the winter solstice, the evergreens are a great reminder of this living force and the return of the sun, this cyclical rhythm we are all a part of. And I think if you have like a deep eco consciousness, a deep call to be ecologically friendly, you may feel it's like very wrong to bring a Christmas tree into your home. And it was actually Rudolf Steiner who helped me understand this as well. Like the idea of cut flowers, cutting plants. It's like this is so like natural to us. How could it be wrong? And he he talks about how plants don't have like an individuality like humans. They don't have a individual soul. They have a group soul. They have a group consciousness. And so when plants are cut, they actually experience a sort of pleasure, joy. And he refers to how, like, when a farmer goes out into a field and they're cutting the wheat down, anyone with ability to kind of observe the forces involved, even just like a deep intuition and empathic feeling, can sense this pleasure and joy, and not just the pleasure of the farmer getting the wheat cut, but like there's an overwhelming sense of this joy and pleasure. And I've personally actually experienced this. One year we got a scythe. We had really tall grass around our home and our lawnmower was broken. And so we actually got like a handheld scythe. And I go out every morning and sunrise and just cut the grass. And it would, I didn't even know this at the time. Like I hadn't even come to cross Steiner's work at this time and this wisdom at the time. But looking back now, I certainly sensed this just filling the air. And it it was quite palpable, this pleasureful feeling. And so now when I go and I cut flowers to bring inside or bring in lettuce and pick berries, I really tap into that feeling of joy and pleasure that the plants at a group soul consciousness level experience. And another way to understand this is really like um, our nails or our hair. And so, like, the plants are like the nails and hair of the world soul of Earth. And when they're cut, it's like a similar sensation that we experience of like getting our hair cut. It's not painful. But if you were trying to pick out your hair by the root, all of a sudden you feel pain, especially if you're trying to pull out a whole bunch at once. And I think this is a really great imagery to understand, which we could really only understand through spiritual science that Rudolf Steiner has presented to us, right? Like we could continue to feel bad cutting down Christmas trees, eating plants, like, oh, the plants, the poor plants. It's like, okay, they can experience pain when they're uprooted from the earth. Like think of like clear cutting logging where we're like clearing fields for agricultural purposes. I see that all the time here. And I do see it. I do feel the devastation. I do feel the pain of earth in that situation. and it because it's like pulling out your hair, bunch of your hair at the roots. So when it comes to getting a Christmas tree, I think, or and just in general, not just a Christmas tree, but when it comes to the lumber used to build your home, let's bring this back to architecture, let's bring this back to design. It's like, um, there's a big difference of how we harvest these plants. How is this done? First of all, what is the intention even of like when you go out, like we get to collect a Christmas tree on our own land, and it's like one of our favorite things to do at Christmas time. And when we go out there and we're cutting down the Christmas tree, we're doing this with such like joyful intention, and we experience in the plant's joy, and vice versa. It's this like reciprocity of pleasure and enjoyment in the cheer of the time of year. And certainly if you were to go to like a different location to get a tree where maybe it's raised in a certain way, it could embody a lesser feeling, a lower, like a lower feeling of just like commercialism, right? Like a Christmas tree farm that's just like so focused on like the bottom line. And I think this energy can be infused into these products, these plant products, whether it's a Christmas tree or the lumber you're buying. And so you might see like a lot of design builders who do like the crux frame structures where they've harvested the wood from their own land and they look for the perfect curved pieces to come and match each other. I remember watching this on Grand Designs, and it's just like, oh, yes, you can feel the joy in that, not just like of the actual artistry involved, but the, the way the plants are harvested, the way they are used, the intention and care put behind it really does matter. And of course, this is like, wow, how can I like do this in my home? I'm not like gonna go harvest trees. I don't have property to do this. I'm not saying like that all of us have to be doing this, but these are the sort of things that we can understand through spiritual science, and how when if you're offered the opportunity to build in this way, how you can bring this purity and joy and selflessness, energetics of the plant wisdom, like into the construction of your home. But we can also do this just through our own awareness and intention now. We can honor our spaces and the plants that have been used to construct them now through a deep intention and prayer and meditative process of sending out grateful reverence to the plant kingdom, to the trees, to the spruces and the pines and the firs. So if you're a contractor or architect, like we refer to like lumber as SPF, and it's spruce, pine, or fir. So these are the main trees we build our homes out of. And then you have cedar, which is so great for finishing interiors, exteriors. So we can spend some time just like we did last week with the minerals, just recognizing them in our homes. And I really recommend you do that. I really recommend you kind of spend some time contemplating the structure of the plant, how it stands in opposition to ours, and its purity and chasteness. These are all great exercises. But today, I want to take you on a bit more deeper journey with the plants and growing and becoming your true home. And so, um, if you're not, you might want to pause this and Find some space that is quiet. Find a bit of time. Don't know how much longer this will be, but find some time to do this. So you might want to pause the video here, grab some water, and just get into a restful state. Breathing in and out slowly. Nice, even breaths in and out. Relaxing and letting go of any tensions or worries and coming into the present moment. You can close your eyes and breathe into your heart space, expanding it in your inhale and sinking deeper into your heart space on your exhale. Until you feel fully immersed in the warmth and the light of your own heart space. And now imagine like roots growing out the base of your spine and the soles of your feet down into the earth. And on an exhale, bringing all your awareness down to the center of the earth and breathing up all of her nourishing, sustaining, grounding, loving essence up through those roots, up through soles of your feet, the base of your spine, all the way up, breathing all the way up to the crown of your head and back down into your heart space and breathing that out around you through your heart space. Good. And now we're going to connect above. So this time on your exhale, bring all your awareness up the top of your crown of your head, all the way up to the top of the ceiling, the roof, up into the sky, through the clouds, through the sun, up and to the stars. And breathing in all of that cosmic light and wisdom, soaking it in just like leaves of a tree, down through your crown, all the way down through the base of your spine, back up into your heart space, and breathe that out around you. Just like a tree grounded and rooted into the earth, with the leaves up above, collecting all the light codes and wisdom above and below. And now I want you to imagine you're in a wide open space and picture before yourself in your hands, you're holding a seed. This seed holds the essence of your true home, not just a building, but a blueprint for the spaces where your soul can thrive. You feel an invitation, a call to take this seed and plant it and push it into your heart space, pressing it gently into your heart. Feel the ground beneath your fingers, your heart beneath your fingers, accepting this seed so it may grow and thrive. And as the seed begins to grow, the roots spread down into the earth. These roots are your intentions and values that you hold dearest, the foundation of your life. What roots do you want to plant to grow your home? Feel into the roots. What spaces in the earth, of the earth, are they beginning to create? Feel into the rooms within your roots that are nourishing, protected, peaceful, calm, sheltered within the roots of your being. Like little dens for animals. Maybe a specific animal is appearing to you within the roots, offering you a symbolic message to the quality of these spaces within your roots. Now bring your awareness back up to your heart space and notice there a slender trunk emerging, reaching upward, strong, steady, and pure, pulsating with this lovely sap of life, free from distraction, lower impulses, driven only by the need to grow and become. This is the structure of your home. What form does it take to support your growth? Feel into the walls of this trunk of the tree. Maybe it is more round like a tree or becoming more box like. What structure is most needed to give you security and strength and support for your soul to thrive? You can begin to feel the branches forming, creating complexity to the structure of your true home. Always corridors. And finally, as the branches extend outwards, they become adorned with leaves growing under all the light of the sun, collecting all of this cosmic light and nourishment for you to collect as well. Feeling how this canopy offers shelter and beauty, the crowning of your true home, connecting you to the heavens and this cosmic wisdom of the skies, of expansion and higher aspirations of life. And you notice there seeds beginning to form, reminding you of the seed you first planted in your heart. What gifts will your home give to you and your land? What gifts do you have to offer through the activities and few of your true aspirations and intentions in life, your soul's purpose? Notice how these seeds get scattered in the wind, spreading life out over your land, over your property. Notice where these seeds land in the ground, offering further messages of expansion of your life's purpose, for your soul to thrive, to feel happiness, to be fulfilled in health and wealth. Take a moment to admire this tree that you grew, this tree of becoming your true home. Feel its grounding presence in the earth, its strength in the trunk, and its harmony with the sky. Take a moment to recall how the roots felt, the trunk felt, the leaves felt, and what seed was it that you received in the first place? And what seeds did you cast out on your land? And when you're ready, take a deep breath and thank the tree and return to the present moment. And I recommend taking some time to journal about this journey, about the wisdom that we can experience when we reflect and contemplate what it is the plants can show us about growth and giving and living in harmony with earth and sky. So thank you for joining me on this journey today. And I hope this episode resonated with you. So please share it with someone who might also find it inspiring. And please don't forget to subscribe and like so you can explore more of this sacred wisdom of the connection between earth, spirit, and designing landscapes that are in harmony with humanity and earth. Next week, we'll be diving into the third Advent. So, hope everybody is having a lovely time. And even though we are in the depths of the darkest time of year, We can hold hope for the return of the sun. So until next time, take care. Bye bye.